Good morning, Rick. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? You can hear me. All right. So we have one in.
Great.
We can't hear him, though. We need to hear him.
You hear me?
Rick, we need to hear you as well.
Can you hear me now?
Ah.
I loaded because.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
We're
You
good?
hear me?
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Happy Friday.
Same to you.
So now we're just waiting.
You sound like a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, because they couldn't hear me, but that's because she had the volume down. Are we good?
Yes, you are. Yep. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anna,
Yes.
I just got a call from the Department of Agriculture.
Yes.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Thank you. Yes. Thanks. Hi, is this Lynn? Hi, Lynn, this is Anna. I'm going to give you the dial-in number. 02402 at cio.ny.gov. Yes, I'm here, and we're already dialed in, so I'll see you when you dial in. Can you see this number where I'm calling you from? Okay, if you have a problem, call me back. Okay, Lynn, bye-bye. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, Ann, how are you?
I don't need anything.
Okay.
I was looking for a chair, but this is their...
Hey, Ben.
Hi.
You're on the other side of this.
waiting for, I just spoke to Lynn, she said give her about 10 minutes.
Okay. And
She'll
that's,
dial in from agriculture.
okay, and then we still need the
I'm still waiting for Darlene,
Okay.
Department of Labor.
Okay.
I'm waiting for her to dial in.
Hello. Good morning.
What do we have left to do before we leave Tuesday?
I'm mainly dealing with the CDFI stuff. I'm gonna try to get through some Empire expenses.
Well, for a while.
Well, now it's the, we've decided the awards. We had our meeting with Ravina.
Last, how'd that go?
Good. Fine. So now we're, but we, because of, the extenuating circumstances with Rachel, we had to, we're kind of like rushing to make sure that all the materials and everything are set by the end of next week. So I need to take care of that stuff.
Sure stuff for what?
CEO approval. And I'm also going to try to work on
Hi, how are you?
like getting it for the LTFGA.
So right now, I think we just focus on getting the CDFI stuff. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
we could do that so we can come back. The CDFI, I know they're just all frantic about it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
So you got today and tomorrow, today and Monday to finish it.
Yeah.
So put your resources
I know
together.
they gave us
Get the
coffee
stuff.
today, I know, and I brought my own too.
How are you? Think about it. Think about it. We still haven't got the determination.
Hello. How are you? Good, how are you?
Hi, Adam. Good morning. We still haven't got determination for the office with Client Confidentiality Empire.
Oh my God, it's like winter, you know,
When
what
did that
happened? I know.
It's not when we robbed on trust fund. I can wait till you get
Hi.
back. So we decided it's going to be in January. So wait till you get back.
Are you still
But I don't want.
Is he the only one that's going to be in this?
Huh? Yeah. There's two other sites on there.
Is this everybody that's supposed to be on this? Well, there's supposed to be two other offices, I think. I think so.
All right.
Perfect.
There we go. All right, there's one.
You're all in.
Perfect.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hey. I guess that's everybody. It looks like it. Although I'm blocking Mario's head.
Perfect.
Are we on there?
Kevin, can you see us at Ag and Markets?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
So I got three screens, and they're all kind of tiny. But-
Okay.
How are you, Steve?
I'm well. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking.
It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see a very small version of you.
Contrast to the large.
I guess New York, let us know when you're ready. Thumbs up or a smoke signal or anything. Mario, you still there?
Yes.
I have this. I cannot see you at all. It's just because that the way the screen is arranged, there's an image of me placed over you. So when you talk, it's going to look really strange to me.
And how do you look to yourself?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I like the
Good.
beard. Well done. I'll note for the record that Antoff is now copying my beard. And so is Ray.
It's winter. It's time for that.
Steve's going in the opposite direction.
What's that mean, Kevin?
So I got the beard, you've got no hair.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So, Kevin, we're ready to begin when you're ready.
I'm ready. Good morning, folks. Before I call this meeting to order, I would like to note that I will serve as the acting chair of today's meeting. Kevin Eunice, COO of Empire State Development. I now call to order the meeting of the members of the New York Job Development Authority for Friday, November 10th, 2017. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast. The members have received the written materials in advance of the meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. I'd also like to note that we welcome public comment on our agenda. To ensure maximum opportunity for participation, speakers representing themselves may speak for up to 2 minutes, and speakers representing groups may speak up to 4 minutes with one speaker per group. Speakers' comments may only address the items being considered at today's meeting. Before we begin with the substantive portion of today's meeting, I will ask the members whether anyone has any potential conflicts of interest with respect to any of the items on the agenda. If so, I would ask that they make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you may recuse yourself from any discussion or vote with regard to such items. Hearing none, the first item on today's agenda is the approval of the minutes from June 28, 2017, members' meeting. Are there any questions, comments, or deletions with regard to those minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Motion?
Second.
So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. I would now call upon Ray Salaberios to present the next item on today's agenda, which relates to the request for authorization to make a machinery and equipment loan with the New York Job Development Authority, proceeds to Bread Alone, Inc. Mr. Salaberios.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, directors. This report concerns a proposed JDA machinery and equipment loan in the amount of $310,977. The JDA loan is to be used towards the purchase of machinery equipment for a facility located in Lake Katrine. The total project cost is $772,719. JDA collateral will consist of a first lien on the machinery equipment. The machinery equipment is a new 200 kilowatt solar array to be utilized at the production facility located at 2121 Ulster Avenue in Lake Katrine. The actual cost of the machinery equipment collateral is $403,000. However, after a $57,470 NYSERDA subsidy, the cost of the loan will be $345,530. JDA will also have a second lien on the real estate located at 2121 Ulster Avenue in Lake Katrine. The current appraised value of the real estate is $4,250,000. Brother Loan is a certified organic artisan bakery located in New York's Hudson River Valley. Brother Loan produces a variety of hearth-baked breads and rolls, cakes and pastries, and other bakery products. The company has become one of the most recognizable names among New York area artisan bakeries. Brother Loan continues to distinguish itself from competitors as the preeminent certified organic artisan bakery in the region. Currently, the company sells its products through 4 retail locations in Boyceville, Lake Katrine, Rhinebeck, and Woodstock. Brother Loan products are available through many New York City supermarkets, including Fairway Market, Whole Foods, and Fresh Direct. Brother Loan is requesting JDA assistance for the acquisition of new machinery equipment, solar array panels, and mechanical systems. The solar array panels will be installed on the roof of the facility. The mechanical systems will be installed on the roof on equipment pads and within the facility. Once completed, Brother Loan forecasts that between the solar array and energy efficiency improvements, the facility will produce all energy necessary for production during peak sunlight hours. The company expects a savings of $35,000 a year in energy costs based on the acquisition of this new equipment. Staff has been in contact with the Advanced Energy Center in Stony Brook, one of our NYSAR partners, and the center has determined that the panel prices are reasonable and projected to be so for the near future. The panels have a 5-year full warranty, a 25-year module warranty, and 30-year life expectancy. The installation is being done by Hudson Valley Wind and Solar. Hudson Valley Wind and Solar is a leader in renewable wind and energy in the Mid-Hudson region. Hudson Valley is fully insured with up to $2 million in liability and is recognized by NYSERDA and licensed by NYSERDA to write and apply for NYSERDA subsidies and to install the panels of this nature. With a 1B rating, Brother Loan currently generates sufficient cash flow from operations to service the projected debt. Default risk based on the company's performance over the 3-year historical period is moderate. Revenue growth has been strong, and cash flow projections indicate that the company will be able to service the debt going forward. JDA will have a first lien position on the machinery equipment collateral, a second lien position on the real estate. Thus, there will be sufficient security for JDA to be completely collateralized on the project. At the completion of the project, 140 full-time jobs will be retained, and it is expected that 30 new jobs will be created over 5 years. Thank you.
Just a little clarification. The Kinderhook Bank real estate loan, is that for the same property?
Yes.
Are they also doing land acquisition as well as?
Well, the Kinderhook loan is for the renovation of the property.
Okay.
Our loan is just for the purchase of the machinery and equipment.
And the NYSERDA subsidy, is that a grant?
It's a grant to them, right.
So there's no repayment?
No.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or comments with regard to this item?
Kevin, I'd like to make a few comments if I could.
Absolutely.
So, Ag and Markets, I just want to make a few comments relative to Ag and Markets involvement with the company. So, because it's a food processing facility, they fall under the inspection of our Division of Food Safety and Inspection. And I'd just like to note the results of a recent inspection that was conducted on October 10th. The inspection had stated 2 critical deficiencies, one for flies and one for hold temperatures for hot foods that is insufficient. Now Not to say that these critical deficiencies should affect the decision of the board in making the loan to the company, but just to note them for the record. The protocol is to report these deficiencies to the company, which has been done. We allow for a period of correction, which is we're in that process right now, and then we re-inspect the facility usually within 60 days. So that re-inspection has not taken place, but will take place when the company has been allowed that time for correction. But I will note that prior to this inspection, the facility has received all passing inspections prior to this. So not that I think that it should be a reason to deny this loan for sure, but wanted to note that for the record.
Could I make, could we amend the resolution to say that it's dependent, or add in here some way that they they meet their requirements, they fix any of the issues that were just raised?
Absolutely.
I think that would be important.
And so we can do that, right?
And the only other thing I would say is perhaps in the future when it comes to a food, or agricultural, maybe, your staff could check to see if they've had,
Right, absolutely.
so we wouldn't be surprised with this, that's
Right.
all. Okay.
Steve, in sort of the scope of this type of inspection and violations, is this a fairly normal or common occurrence?
Yeah, so it's going to be hard to find a food processing plant in the state that doesn't have some kind of deficiency at any particular time and date. I'm sure you runs across this with environmental concerns and things like that. And we call them critical deficiencies because, especially with the temperature that falls into more of a food safety type of category. But it's not uncommon for this to happen, and we certainly allow for companies the opportunity to correct those deficiencies without, going in and shutting down. Certainly, if there's a history with a company that does not correct critical deficiencies or other food safety violations and standards, then we take action that we have to take.
This is not such a company as
No.
far as you're.
No.
Great. Are there any more questions or concerns? Any
Kevin?
comments or questions from the public with regard to this item?
No, Kevin, before you go on, I do have a comment and then a question. It's a curiosity, not a concern. This is a great project. It touches a lot of the areas I think the governor's been focused on, grown and certified and green energy and all of that. I think that's terrific. Just as I was going through the documents, on the very sort of last section, the non-discrimination and contractor and supplier diversity on page 7, the very last line, establishment of specific goals related to the total value of JDA's funding is still pending. And I just have a curiosity, in a case like this where it's a relatively small amount of the total project cost, and maybe Ray, this is your answer or somebody, how do you actually do that? How do you go about coming up with fair goals, fair approach in this? And then skipping ahead a little bit, I notice on the next project saying there's a lack of availability and so there won't be goals set. So if you could spend a couple seconds talking about how you deal with that on a project-by-project basis.
The goals are set by the Office of Supply and Contract Diversity. And what we tell, as we have conversations with potential borrowers, we suggest and show the borrowers how to go through the New York City directory, the New York State MWB directory. At that point, they have the opportunity to go to the directory. And like in Brother Loan's case, this is solar panels. So you will go in, type in solar panels, and then make the determination how many MWB firms actually are qualified to install panels or in the actual panel installation business. The Office of Compliance and Supply Diversity has decided that there are not any companies in New York State MWBE certified that are able to do the kind of work needed for these panels. As so far as the North Country project, there's always been an issue in the North Country about the ability to source certified minority firms to do work in the North Country. We have, again, gone through the directory to find firms that within the Clinton County, Potsdam, Johnson region, determine if there are sufficient minority candidates to do the work. The Office of Contract Supply Diversity has made the determination that because there is a lack of viable MW firms in that region able to do the work, that they had decided not to assign goals to this project. Again, the goals are assigned by that division, and they go through the process of reviewing our projects, going through the directory, and ascertaining whether goals should be set. I think the mindset is you shouldn't set goals if there's no reasonable expectation to meet those goals. So in that case, that's how both goals were set, or non-goals were determined.
Great, thank you.
Where is that? Is that department part of?
Yes, they're on the
Okay.
They're on the 35th floor.
Okay.
It's part of
Right.
finance.
Right. So they go through the process of every project. What we do is every project, before we come to the board, we send it to them and say, hey, we need you guys to set goals for this project. And beforehand, like I mentioned earlier, we speak with the individual potential borrowers and say, hey, you have to do a good faith effort to try to source certified minority women-owned firms to complete the project. If you're buying materials, to try to purchase it from them. And their responsibility is to go through the directory. We work closely with the Minority Women Business Division and try to make suggestions as to who they can look through. So the process, it takes a little while to get done, but we're pretty thorough on the process of trying to reach those goals.
So
It's also,
people
I
come,
think-
you can give them a list of potential
Yes.
companies they can
Yes,
talk to.
yes. We're like,
That's certified.
yes, the idea is for them to do due diligence, but we know that many times due diligence isn't what they do, so we help them to do their due diligence by making available for them the listing of directories of firms who can possibly utilize for the type of projects that we're funding. So at the end, if they don't meet the goal and they didn't try, then there's liquidated damages that are assessed to the project on determining how much money you're going to get from the loan, depending on what the liquidated damages are going to be.
Great.
Mario, the nature of economic development projects in some respects is it makes the setting of MWBE goals a bit more challenging in that this project is going to happen as a result of our assistance. And so sometimes the completion of a very detailed budget, which would allow for, sorry, I just lost light in here, which would allow for what Ray was talking about, establishing goals very clearly and understanding what the utilization is appropriate for each project. Sometimes that occurs in the process of moving forward with the loan or the grant, because then that budget becomes very much more finalized, as opposed to a procurement where you know ahead of time sort of this very specific budget of what you're attempting to purchase.
Sure. Yeah, no, thank you. That's helpful. And as Ray pointed out, some parts of the state are more difficult than others, for sure.
Any other questions or concerns with regard to this item? If not, I will entertain a motion for approval.
Motion, but with the amendment, if I may.
Noted.
We'll amend the resolution and send it around to the directors so you can take that. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you. The motion carries. I'd also like to call upon Ray to present the next item on today's agenda, which is a request for authorization to make a real estate loan with regard to New York Job Development Authority proceeds to the Development Corporation. Ray?
Thank you, Kevin. This report is for a proposed JDA loan in the amount of $1,200,000. The JDA loan is to be used towards the construction of real property located at the Plattsburgh International Airport in Plattsburgh. JDA collateral will be a second lien on the real estate located at the Plattsburgh International Airport. The property will be a 60,000 square foot industrial building. The appraised value of the real estate is expected to be $6,075,000. If needed, JDA will also have a first lien in the real estate located at 651 Route 3, Plattsburgh. The current appraised value of that real estate is $1.5 million. The Development Corporation owns and operates industrial parks in Plattsburgh. TDC was formed in 1961 for the purpose of promoting industrial development by providing financing for plant construction and property acquisition. The corporation can sell, rent, manage, or lease property to expanding industries to which TDC is rendering services. TDC leases out space to businesses in 17 multi-tenant buildings for various terms and options. The purpose of this activity is to provide spaces to industries in the Clinton County area and help to increase job creation. The 17 industrial buildings total 700,000 square feet. 30 companies currently occupy the various buildings, employing 1,700 people. Companies such as APG Norris Inc., a manufacturer of high-efficiency turbo blowers, Nova Bus Prevost, the leading manufacturer of transit buses, and Bombardier, the world's largest supplier of rapid transit cars. The JDA request is to assist TDC with part of the development of the Plattsburgh International Airport. The Plattsburgh International Airport redevelopment represents a tremendous opportunity for aviation-related and general industries at the site of the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base. The airport and its industrial air park are located adjacent to Interstate 87 at the southern end of Plattsburgh. Several major industries and numerous small companies already thrive at this location. Clinton County has recently been awarded a $40 million grant under the Upstate Airport Economic Development and Revitalization Grant Program. The Airport Development Program provides an opportunity for TDC and Clinton County to help realize the full potential of the airport as a regional economic engine. As part of the redevelopment of the airport, TDC, along with Clinton County, is looking to undertake the construction of a 60,000 square foot industrial building. The proposed building will support new industrial use at the airport. The construction of the 60,000 square foot building will also include site work, which would consist of landscaping, loading docks, and employee parking. The total estimated cost for the construction facility and adjacent work is $6,075,000. TDC is responsible for $3 million of the project cost, and by using the combined financial systems of JDA and Glen Forest National Bank, it will meet its responsibility. The remaining balance of $3,075,000 will be covered by Clinton County from the $40 million New York State grant the county was awarded under the Airport Development Program. TDC will own the building and will enter into a 100-year land lease with Clinton County for the 5.6-acre parcel on which the building will be constructed. The project has a 1A rating, as TDC currently generates sufficient cash from operations to service the projected debt. Default risk based on the corporation's performance over the 3-year history is low. Also, revenue growth has been strong, and cash flow projections indicate that the corporation will be able to service the debt moving forward. In addition, JDA will have a second lien on the real estate collateral, thus there will be sufficient security for JDA to be completely collateralized. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Any comments or questions from the members with regard to this item?
Yeah, I just have a couple of clarification questions. Is this airport actually functioning as an airport at all now? Is it?
No, not yet.
Not.
Right.
No.
No, not as much, not to the point that they want. Planes still fly in, but not to the degree that they wanted to.
Okay, so they're like it's a private
Right,
airport
basically.
then. Okay, and there was a decrease in cash, which you do.
I'm sorry, I don't think it is a private airport. But
No, it's
not?
a public airport, but they have minimum flights going in there. It's not a private airport, no.
Oh, okay.
So who owns it?
Right, the state of New York.
So they have commercial flights.
Some flights.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this is why PACB is required?
Yeah, well, yes. Well, PACB is required because they're receiving both the grant and the loan from JDA.
I thought it was more for the development.
What, when you say PACB, you mean Public Authorities Control Board?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Right. Well, the Public Authorities Control Board, as you know, has to approve any JDA project or any New York State investment. So this is why the Public Authorities Control Board will be part of it. Yes.
And maybe it's important to put a fine point on that, Ray, and Maria, correct me if I'm wrong, but the PACB approval is not required for any grant. It's required for grants or loans that relate to a capital
Correct, any
as a
capital investment
improvement.
by the covered authority has to go through BACB.
The other question, you duly note that, the cash went down in assets, but you didn't give a reason. Did they invest in something, or what happened with them?
I'm sorry, ask the question again. I didn't.
The cash.
The cash
Right.
assets decreased, which you note. I was just wondering.
Well, I thought they were using that for the investments in the properties they were doing now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The notes, the financial statements don't specify. We can get clarification.
Right.
Okay. It would be interesting to know why. And then, do they have any interest from any prospective tenants at this point, or is it?
They do. They have a very strong interest, but I'm not at liberty to talk about it. I was told that they're in negotiations, and they didn't want the company named on the public record.
And presumably, Ray, that's the 75 jobs that are discussed?
Yes.
Okay.
Are those jobs in any way tied as a requirement of this loan, or a?
Well, as TDC can't be responsible for the entering companies, the jobs, we didn't tie them to the loans. TDC cannot be held accountable for whether the company produces the jobs or not. But I can go as I don't want to cross this line, but my understanding, the company will have no difficulty in reaching those 75 jobs, and they are very close to signing the lease. I was hoping to have the lease signed by now, but there's some T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted. But I have to be clear that I'm precluded from talking about the name, but
Maybe in
the
a
name of the
future meeting,
public.
Ray, you could
Absolutely.
let us know when it's appropriate.
Absolutely. Or I will send an email around once this lease is signed and let everyone know who the company is. You'll be very happy to know who the company is.
That's great.
Any other comments or questions? Steve, any food storage issues here?
None that I'm aware of. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Are there comments from the public with regard to this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion carries. All in favor? So moved.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Evan.
Thanks, folks. See ya.
Well,